a calendar on Google Calendar, whatever, use your phone, and have a look at Friday and Saturday, and just start booking things in on those evening times. So let's say you look at Friday, 7 p.m., you finish school, you finish gym, stay up late that day for 3-4 hours and do something which is a little bit more significant than you normally would. You're going to go on a 20-kilometer run, even though you're fat and you never run. You're going to go and spar an MMA fighter like you did. You're going to go and risk something. What is that? Wow.
Some good desserts.
Nice,
You
man.
had that carnival thing, innit?
You hungry? You want some?
It's a carnival, bro. It's a carnival cookie.
Yeah, guys, boys, don't be
Yeah, eat up. We got some good fruit here.
Nice,
I'll
man.
take it.
Dig in, boys. Nice.
Yeah, give me the
Nice
water.
one,
Thank
guys.
you, brother. I appreciate it.
Can we get a couple more waters too for everybody?
Nah, we're good, bro. We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
You eating that or not?
No, you have it, brother. I'm not going to break the carnivore, bro. I was about to bring
on
you a
carnivore
dessert.
diet?
Yeah, I was about to bring you a dessert, but I stopped it last second. I was like, oh, you probably wouldn't eat it. I didn't realize
Nah, I would eat it.
I didn't realize you were dieting like that, bro.
Oh, yeah. Dieting like what? Oh, shisha?
No, the cookie dough, bro.
Oh, no, I'm not going to eat that. I'm not gonna
Okay, sweet. No, I went to this bakery over the road.
I might have a bite, yeah. I might have a bite.
So I only eat meat and fruit. That's the only things I
I
eat.
don't eat meat.
Yeah. You don't eat meat, bro.
Yeah, you're on carnivore. I see a lot of those Twitter pages like carnivore, all this stuff. They talk about only eating raw steak and all. Are you on all that? Are you a biohacker?
I'm not on raw stuff, but I'll eat like 3 ribeyes a day, for example, and get all my calories from that. What about you? What's your diet like?
Right, I'm not I'll just eat what's there. To be honest, like I don't like to eat bad food. Dawood, I got a magician here, by the way. He's surprising you. Assalamu alaikum, Dawood. Nice to meet you.
I like him, brother.
How you doing, bro? How you doing?
Assalamu alaikum, bro.
You ready?
Oh, you want to do it now?
Let's do it now. Let's do it now. You got a minute? Okay.
Let's do it.
Did you get to finish your point about becoming interesting?
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. So I'd be looking to just book in something every Friday, every Saturday, and just think to yourself, like, what's some kind of adventure that would in some ways hurt? Because what I've realized about men is, like, we actually really value the experience of pain in another man. When, okay, you sparred Sean Strickland, right? You got hit in the face. He went a little bit hard on you. Suddenly, it's like you just became more interesting every time you tell that story. Every time that clip is reposted, it's like, here's something adventurous he's just done. That's something that, like, people, I'm sure, I've not seen it, but like people will like make fun of you, whatever. None of the people making fun of you would ever have stepped into the ring that day. I would have been afraid to step into the ring that day. So anyone who's saying like, oh, whatever, you got beat up. Yeah, of course you fucking got beat up. It's a professional fighter. But that's a story you're going to tell.
Middleweight champion. Middleweight, not just a professional fighter.
There you go. You're going to tell that story for 10 years. But the reason why it's important is because there was pain through it. Like, I just told the story of, I moved to London and I saw a few people get robbed. And I started getting super anxious that I kept like a hammer next to my bed. It was a painful period for me. My health declined. It was awful. My mental health was so bad. And yet that story is an asset that I tell in almost every podcast where I'm asked about like the places that I've lived now.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to you have to seek out a rite of passage because traditionally men, to become a boy into a man, there needed to be some sort of rite of passage. In African tribes, they go through a lot of physical difficulty. In other cultures, like basically there needs to be some sort of physical, something that you need to achieve in order to actually get the respect of the community.
Any ideas for your future son? You're going to put him through a rite of passage?
Yeah, I've been thinking. I think I was on the same page as you a lot last year. I was thinking about that. Every time I was training, I kept thinking like I'm training to become a good father. Like that's kind of my motivation in terms of MMA training and all this stuff. Is like how could I be mentally ready to raise my son? Because my upbringing wasn't that difficult. I didn't have I don't have war stories to tell. So how do I become mentally tough in order to raise my son properly? Because I don't want to raise a bitch. Like that's something that probably one of my greatest fears. I know I'm not supposed to fear anything, but I am worried that I'll have like a soft son that gets programmed and vaccinated and fat and poor. So that is the motivation. I think the easiest rite of passage because every man needs to go through that. Every man needs to go through pain. They need to go through something. They need to take a risk and do something that they're scared of in order to get respect, not just from their community, but to get confidence in themselves. I say go to an MMA gym. I think that's the best way in a controlled environment where you can, it's you against another man, something you need to work on every single day. I think that's the best. I don't see anything comparable. What do you think?
I'd actually big up streaming. You said like you're not a warrior. I honestly think like the modern day intellectual warrior is this is gonna sound cringe as fuck, like a content creator, streamer.
Okay, explain.
A lot of people will think that's cringe, but think about it. It's like it's
Sean Strickland disagrees. These fucking influencers are pussies.
Right, look, that's real physical warrior, right? Fair enough.
Yeah.
But there's intellectual warriors these days. We're not all about the physical realm anymore because we've made so many advancements, and it's all about knowledge work these days. Like being someone who can move your body well and be like an athlete. It's like it's okay, fair enough, but the world now belongs to the intellectual people who can speak on camera. It is the truth. And so as much as we can say, influencers are cringe, it's like they're the most successful new age type of person. And there's a reason why, is because it's extremely difficult. It's easy to press record and sit there, but it's like the intellectual warrior battles 1,000 disagreements a day. Like whatever's happened to your mind and even your hormones when you read the chat and you're seeing like a flood of basically attacks and social ostracizing, and you've had moments where everyone online is criticizing you.
Oh yeah,
what that must have done to your hormones and like you're like weird neural stuff. Where
my camera's laughing.
The tribes like kicked you out.
Oh yeah, bro. From all different types of communities, from the liberals, from the feminists, from the Christians, from the Muslims, from Twitter, from the black community, from the white community. Like it's like even right now, like I get criticized, like I get scrutinized more than most people in the world. Like. Yeah, if you think about it, the volume of people doing it, it's actually is incredible, yeah. And it's something that a lot of people can't relate to, and it puts a stress on the people around you, but it is a good test of mental toughness. I do have to agree.
I actually very much agree with what you just said, because when I was younger, I actually fell into a similar situation where obviously you see I'm a giant myself. I wanted to play in the NBA. That's actually one of my goals of mine, and I memorized all the stats. I knew the best rebounder, the best assist guy, who had the best points that night. And then I remember I walked into a room one day with people who didn't care about sports. And then I realized the only thing I could talk about was sports. And then I was like, damn, am I boring? Do I have nothing to talk about?
All you have to talk about were other men's achievements.
Yeah, was other people's achievements. And then I thought to myself, like, how can I change that? And I realized now it's time for me to learn something. If I learn something and I, like you said, be more intellectually based, that will change everything, and the knowledge that I have will be able to inspire others. And that's one of the most powerful things you can do as a human being, is have the ability to inspire.
What was the knowledge that you immediately started seeking?
Honestly, I would just say the purpose of life. That was one of the best questions to ask, and that's a question most people didn't have the answers to. So once I started seeking answers for the questions that people didn't have, and then I found the answers, and then suddenly I became the guy that had the answers that no one else had. Suddenly I became that dude. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you, how did you individually become interesting?
Pain. Almost every story I tell is pain related. I tell the story that I was born in poverty. My knee is still fucked up because when I was a baby, I didn't get enough calories. So my bones didn't develop properly. I was born in poverty. I tell the story of how I wasn't able to use my left hand for most of my life because it was webbed up to there because of a burn injury as a baby. Again,
I can see there's a burn mark.
You see all that. It used to, before I got surgery on it, it used to be webbed up to here, so it was basically like inusable. I tell the story about the racists who attacked my family and traumatized me and my mother and made us anxious for years afterwards. The pain that I went through in university, losing people that you love, losing best friends when you have like fallouts with them and backstabbing and heartbreak. It's interesting that the stories that I tell the most, that men listen to the most, that captivate the most people, they're always involved in pain. It's never just like, oh, hey, I had a good day and, things went kind of good. It was like this chaotic moment that I wanted to get out of, but I didn't realize that once I'd get out of it, I'd constantly retell the story because other men would respect it.
I mean, that's every movie. Movies are only interesting because you get a main character, you get a hero, and then you make him likable, you make him resonate with the audience, and then he goes through a trial. He goes through something that other people haven't overcome. And then what makes the movie good is that he overcomes that triumph, and he has a story to tell, and that movie is the story. So, but it's hard to, what would you recommend? Because I'm sure you interact with a lot of these people, these kids that have not had, and I would say my childhood was not that hard. Like I didn't have a lot of money, but overall, comparatively to kids in Haiti, for example. I used to always go to Haiti when I was younger. My dad's from there. And to see, in comparison, you know, I'm living in the United States, and, you know, I got a house, food, water. I'm okay. These people literally were, like, slamming on the door of the car in the window, like, begging to wipe down the windows to get $1. And that dollar would feed them for a day. Or just, like, literally 5-year-old kids selling flowers on the street because there's nothing else to sell. Or them having to trek all the way to the gas station to get a gallon of gas to walk back so that they can drive to work. And so I'm like, how is my life hard compared to these people? But these people are not depressed. They're not unhappy. Depression only existed within my high school, my college, where people were like way richer than me, but somehow they couldn't even muster up the courage to go to class. Like they would literally believe they had chemical imbalances with their brain. They were popping SSRIs every single day. But it's like, you come from a good home. You got a pool. Like, these people have like elevators in their houses. They got golden retrievers. Their mom doesn't work. Their mom's on Xanax all day. They have a good life. Xanax mom, golden retriever, pool, like good life, and they could not even get out of their bed without smoking weed. It's like these people can't do anything, but the kids in Haiti are enjoying, they love life.
Yeah.
You know, and they have the hardest life possible. What do you tell the people that come from that upbringing? How do you tell them to man up? How do you tell them to become interesting? How do you tell them to go find pain? Because you were saying streaming, but if we're going to be honest, 99% of people are not going to be successful streaming. Like, that can't be... That can't be the only way out.
You know, I just want to say, what you've just said just really moved me. I think there was a lot of significance in that. The kids in Haiti had nothing, and none of them had depression. I find that's so interesting. We've got privileged kids here, newest clothes, expensive trainers, AirPods, listening to whoever rapper, some sad boy rapper who's taking like drugs and stuff, talking about depression, talking about sadness and stuff. And yeah, it's so interesting. The people with the least never complain about depression, and in fact, you see them often full of joy. It's strange, isn't it? It's like they're hungry, but they've also got joy. It's very interesting. What would I say to the guy who's trying to build up this interesting life? I think my advice would be quite similar to yours. You said the MMA gym, and I like martial arts, but for me, it was always weightlifting. And so that's where I've learned like most of my lessons in life. I've been doing this now for 10 years. And what it's taught me about life, like I was speaking to a personal trainer, and I said to him, have you had moments where it's felt like the only things you've had in your life is the gym? And he went, yeah. And we actually opened up, and I said, like,
I've been there.
There's been so many times where, you know, life's crumbling, relationships horrible, family's not going well, business or career or studies is all going down. But it's that just positive feeling of like, oh no, but if I keep going to the gym, I'll make progress. It's like, it's been the anchor of my life through the darkest days that I've had, the moments where I've woken up in tears, and through addictions of smoking weed every day, porn, video games, junk food, binge eating, intense anxiety. It's been the anchor for the last 10 years of my life. So you'd say MMA, I think that's amazing. For me, I'd say weightlifting.
What are you mostly doing now? Are you doing weightlifting? You're doing Muay Thai still?
Yeah, mostly weightlifting. I do a different style now. I use like kettlebells, and I do like, I took these boys through. I do like fast-paced stuff, so like
Joe
explosive.
Rogan, okay.
I've not seen the Joe, but it's like, imagine it's just like fast. But you throw it overhead, drop into burpees, jump back up, 10 squats, and you know, like fast-paced. So it's 30 minutes. You're covered in sweat. Heath, did you threw up this morning, or you almost threw up?
You okay?
So.
Nah, I'm good now. I had 2 espresso shots.
You owe us 20 burpees. You said you'd do them on stream, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Nah, I said, what did I say? It was something.
Dawood, you ready? Okay, let's do it. Okay, Dawood's been messaging me quite a bit. He's a magician. I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea what's about to see.